So on today's show, we are going to be giving you our favourite panels, covers and issues of the month of November. So, it's now December. We're going to talk about November.
That is what's going to happen.
Hit me with your favourite cover of the month.
My favourite cover of the month was from a book that I didn't buy.
Oh.
I didn't buy it for several reasons. One, because you told me not to. And
Oops.
And two, because I'm reading a hell of a lot of Wolverine and I really didn't have room for any more. So you picked last time the Jock's Wolverine Max #1 cover. My pick for this week is Wolverine Max #2, which unfortunately we don't have. Because as I said, I didn't buy it, but you can see it on the screen now. And it's so good. His covers, he's one of the most inventive people doing covers that I know. Like, we've got a ton of comics on the table in front of us, and they all look like comic book covers. The Jock covers you could blow up and have as pieces of art on your wall. Like, the design of them, the aesthetic, the simple colors, the contrast of colors, especially in this one with the sun and the dark red and the negative space he uses so well. It's great. Please, if there's anyone watching this that has any sort of power in these kinds of things, get me some posters sorted out.
I know, the problem is the first
I don't
book,
mean like, send me some, I mean just make them, let
us
take
buy
my
them.
money.
We are willing to give you it. I really didn't enjoy the first book.
Yeah.
And for $2.85, I'm just not willing to pay that for a cover, but they are absolutely stunning.
They are so good.
Yeah.
Better than the others, I think.
So,
what do you think?
What do I think? Yeah. Well, it's not my favourite cover of the month. My favourite cover was Batman 14. Batman. I don't know what happened. I love this cover.
Yeah, which also doubled as the promo image for the whole
run. Yeah, I love the way they're able to get all the Bat family on there without it being too in your face. I love the fact that he's sitting on the TV that has Batman on his side.
Yeah.
I don't know why, there's just something about that I really like, and all the wires in the background and just I also hear that the Joe's Garage is a garage.
It's fine.
Is a Frank Zappa thing. I haven't actually checked that out, but I've been told by many people it is, which is cool. I just love this cover. It just says so much about the inside of the book and what you can expect. And I love the fact that this isn't actually ever referenced in the book, but I like to think this is what he's up to. Yeah. When we're not reading about him. So that was definitely
it works really well on that level. The fact that it's not only is it showing you what's going to be in the book, but it's also an extra. It's almost like an extra panel, like a split panel.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason I love that cover as well. The reason I didn't pick it is because it's just kind of I've seen it months ago. It feels
that is true. That is true, and it was a hard one to pick this month because there were so many great covers. A lot of brilliant variants as well, like the Fraser Irving Batman Incorporated and all the Scotty Young work.
Oh, Scotty Young.
So, favorite
panel. I'm going to pick this book back up again.
Picked it up again.
Because my favorite panel was it was the one where they're standing on the bridge. Well, you know what? You'll see it on your screen now anyway. It's the one where they're standing on the bridge and it's that great. It's a full page spread. Beautiful. It's that great. It has so much atmosphere about it. We said in our review, like it sums up everything. This showdown of Batman and the Joker, and it not only sums up this storyline, but them two characters,
their history
as a whole. And when I think of this event, when I think of Batman, for the last month, that is the image that's been coming to mind. Batman and his arch nemesis standing on the bridge. Again, fantastic use of negative space, and I like the fact that the scene takes precedence over the characters. The characters are incidental, really. They're kind of little blips, and it's as if everything else is bigger than them. Do you know what I mean? Like they're really small pieces to play, and Capullo continues to
nails it.
Knock it out of the park. I was going to say knock it out of the water, but that was a combination of two different hyperboles.
Big word.
That was my favorite panel of the week. What was yours?
Mine was
Thor #1 is coming up.
#1. and it's right at the back of the book. You know which one I'm talking about. It's a really small panel, but just that strip there with...
Oh, I just didn't think that's the one you were talking about.
Yep, that one down there. Old Thor fighting these God Butcher henchmen, minions. I absolutely love it. You've got this really soft but light color on Thor himself, and then it goes very, very dark, and not even just on the characters, but like the actual panel. Half of it is very light, half of it is very dark. Absolutely love that. He's got this really nice glow, and the line, like that line, "Death to the enemies of Asgard." It's just so cool. Like everything about that.
And again, what we talked about in our review is that how similar to this to like 90s, 80s, 90s fantasy, high fantasy.
It's very
artwork.
fantasy.
Like it's the white armor, the crimson cape.
And just the shine on the cape, like the kind of glow behind him. I absolutely love that. So that was definitely my favorite panel. Now, time for the big one. Favorite book of the month?
My favorite book of the month will probably not come as a surprise to anyone who watched Monday's episode. Like I said in Monday's episode, and I'm gonna say it again because I buy this book. If you are into comics, even in the slightest bit, buy this book. I mean, all of this kind of comic, I think, started with Daredevil. The new Daredevil run, to say, look, let's start. We don't have to be dark all the time. I mean, Batman is great, but we have that a lot. And
pretty much every character at the moment has gone through their dark phase,
right?
Including the Fantastic Four. They even went through one.
Right, and even the previous iteration of FF, there was a lot of dark. Johnny Storm had died, and there was a lot of darkness, and there were weird costumes. And I just think, Matt Fraction's writing in Hawkeye, it's a very similar style. It's lighthearted. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
And the way his writing and Michael Allred's art work together is just so perfect. If you like comics, if you're not sure about comics, I want to get back, buy this book. Please buy this book. You will have so much fun reading it. It was by far my favorite book of the month, and a close second, honorable mention, was Thor #1, which was also brilliant.
Again, going with the kind of darker theme Thor, it's kind of going through its period now, but I don't mind that. That's fine. So my favourite book...
It's My Little Pony Friendship is Magic!
Yeah! No. It's actually kind of, I want to say, light-hearted for the book that it is. And that's Legends of the Dark Knight #2.
The one where Killer Croc eats people's heads and there's blood on basically every page.
But what I will say is, for a Batman book, fairly light-hearted.
Fairly easy going.
It's been probably the most light-hearted Batman we've seen in over 20 years. I really enjoyed this book. I absolutely loved the artwork, and Ben Temple-Smith and B. Claymore. His writing is just fantastic in this, and all of these Legends of the Dark Knight have been brilliant.
And two of them,
the two of them, and I'm so excited for the third one. It's one of the highlights.
Yeah, no, and I do understand what you mean. It is like, it doesn't seem to take itself too seriously, even though.
No, I don't think it does at all. Like, you've got the Joker wearing the kind of the fake glasses and nose to pretend to be Gordon, and everyone's buying it.
Yeah, that's fantastically creepy.
Yeah, all the fake Batman costumes, It's such a fun read, this book, and I love the fact it's out of continuity, which gives writers...
It's self-contained. It's an enjoyment of the medium.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm so excited for the next one, and I just feel like it needed highlighting, because I would say it's probably the second best Batman book at the moment, which it doesn't sound like a big compliment, that, but when you consider there's about 20 Batman books out at the moment...
It's probably just beneath Batman Incorporated.
I was about to say, you'd put Batman Incorporated above it, wouldn't you? Whereas I wouldn't. I'm really enjoying that book as well, but that just tips the scale for me.
Cool, so that is our recap of November. Please let us know in the comments what your favorite books were, because we don't read everything.
We don't.
So maybe we weren't reading them, and I just started reading Justice League Dark because of someone's suggestion. Really enjoying that so far. Fantastic. So let us know what you thought, if you agree with our picks, if you don't, and what your picks are, and we'll get on that. We'll see you next week.
Battle the man!